we've just lost two really key players to broken bones in the same training session in an incident with each other. I've never seen that before.
Into the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sunshine on Leyth. If you're enjoying the save, drop a like, that would be most lovely. So, today, we're playing Brentford, but that's not the big thing. The point is, we're playing our first ever game at the Lighthouse, the brand new Whitport Athletic Stadium. Now, I might switch it to 3D at the very beginning so that we can sort of see it in all its resplendency as the players walk out for the very first time in their very first home game. I do wonder what sort of attendances we can expect. Now, you'd think they'd be quite high, given that we're in the Championship now and we're back at Leyth, but I don't know. My suspicion is they might not be any higher than the ones we get when we were playing in Grimsby. I hope not, though, and I cannot wait until someday we get to play Blackhaven again in the first ever derby at the Lighthouse, because we will tear them apart. How many players do you need? Blackhaven? Yes. Indeed. They've signed a lot of people, but it seems to have been working for them. They had a game last night. They beat Leeds 3-1 at the Leyth Investments Authority Stadium to take themselves to 12 points. They're definitely looking like they're going to be strong enough to not get relegated. I think they're going to be kind of mid-table, and that's quite impressive. Griggs and Sullivan on permanent deals. Damn, this might be the best day ever as a Whitport supporter. Yeah, for me as well. I felt like, as much as it wasn't new signings, I felt like it needed to be done. And we've spent a lot of money in that area of the team, but I think it's going to pay off. Griggs is a cracking goalkeeper, and Sullivan is an incredibly good striker to have for £4.2 million. And I think he's going to go on from strength to strength. He started the season well. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists. He's doing his thing usually. I think he might even be on for a better season this year than he had last year, if that was even possible. Looking really good. Dale Connor also deserves more love, as he's bossing defence. Yes, he actually has been doing really, really well this year. I really like the Connor and Thompson partnership that we've built, and I think that's made us so much stronger at the back, and I do think missing him for that last game may well have had an effect. He should be back for today's game against Brentford, though, hopefully. So without any further ado, we're going to sort this out right about now. So 9,681 tickets sold. So actually, the attendances are definitely higher, it would seem, than we were getting at Grimsby, which is nice to know. Nice to know. I'm sure we'll get some sellouts here too. It will help us just reinvent things a little bit. Now, we're at home, but Brentford are a decent side still, to be fair. So we'd hope to try and get a victory here, but you're never really sure, and particularly without Sebastian Chan. Now, I'm going to quickly just set it to 3D in the thing so that we get it when it loads in. You love to see it. This is the Lighthouse, 10,634 seats. It's what you want to see from us. Very good capacity. Obviously, we're the only team that plays here. It's awesome, isn't it? It's just bloody fantastic. You'll notice, though, no Premier League here, which suggests to me that if we were to get promoted, we may have to increase the capacity yet further. Also, if you're interested in how I managed to change the stadium name without using an editor, I'll put a link, if I can remember, in the description to the video I made a couple of years ago about how you do this, and it still works in 2020, so that's for sure. So, team selection. We can't really change too much, unfortunately. It's just going to be one of those things. Aston Herbert's going to come in. The defensive line is a little bit knackered, but what can we really do about it? We are going to bring back in Dale Connor, though, even though he's still not perfectly fit, but this partnership is nice, and I think we get a slight rest after this game, because we've had an international break, and then we came up for the whole game, and now we've got this one, so we definitely want to keep pushing. Coadio stepped in, done nicely. I like him a lot. I just want to keep him fit. But his match fitness is at least better now. Oh, I'm excited to see what it looks like. Oh, look at those stands, man. At the Lighthouse, wow, I mean, that's quite big. For a stadium that's only 10,000, those are quite large grandstands. Now, obviously, we'll have to just roleplay the fact that there's a giant goddamn lighthouse in the corner, but it's just nice to see a full packed house for a game on Whitport. And I genuinely wonder what kind of attendances Blackhaven are getting in the Premier League, because I imagine ours are not going to be far below it at this. Let's see what they look like as they warm out. Walking out, there they are, lining up, ready to go against Brentford. The huddle, the fans getting on their feet, ready to go nuts. Right, let's go. Can we get a big result in our first ever game at the brand new stadium? Make these fans go absolutely wild. Who will score? Suggestions in the comments. Who do you think will score the first goal at Whitport? Pause the video now. Timestamp it too. I don't want any cheaters. Who do you think is going to score the first goal for us in our brand new stadium? My guess is, I actually think it might be Simon Nelson. That's my prediction. I think it's not going to be one of the two traditional strikers that you'd expect to score a goal. I think Nelson's going to score the first goal, and I think that would make a huge deal. Oh, Sullivan's in! Whoa, and he very nearly did it inside 3 minutes. It would be a letdown if Brentford scored the first goal, but I mean the first goal for us. Oh, Nelson with a lovely ball for Billington. Can he do it? Can he write himself into history? Yes, he can. Win Billington, 8 minutes in at the Lighthouse, his 11th goal of the year, 7th assist of the season as well for Simon Nelson. He is on it this year. Oh, it looks so much nicer. Home ground, lovely ball for Billington, gets him behind, but the point is, the composure he has to finish this off here, takes that extra touch to go round the goalkeeper and slot it home, and we have the lead against Brentford early doors. Can we keep it? That's the question. Fans go nuts. In hindsight, really, it was silly of me to expect anyone other than Win Billington to score the first goal for us here, really, wasn't it? But at least Simon Nelson was involved in it. If he carries on like this, I could feel him getting like 15 assists this season, which would be absolutely ridiculous for that right-hand side. Second goal will be uber nice right now because there's starting to be a little gap between the top 4 and everybody else appearing right now, which is fine. That's kind of what we want. Quadio, that's more like it. There we go. Quadio, Billington, and it's... Oh, what a brilliant stop from Machedo. I think the most impressive thing about Nelson is that all those assists have been from open play. No dead ball situations for Simon Nelson, which makes that even more impressive in my mind. In fact, he's looking so good this season, I'd actually be worried that if we didn't get promoted this year, that we might end up losing him, which would be a problem. But he does have 5 years on his contract because he had an extension clause, and I was able to trigger it, so that's definitely helpful. A change for Brentford at half-time. They've taken off a defensive midfielder for an attacking one, so is that a system shape change? God, we drew with Hull, and now they're in the relegation zone. That's poor from us. Harkin, it's a good ball in, needs to be a good header, and Griggsy will comfortably save. It's been a pretty even game so far. Oh, they've allowed Sullivan to bring it down. This is the last thing they needed to do. Sullivan's going through himself. Oh, the strength he showed there. Quadio's been a bit poor at the moment as Nelson brings us away. It's 3-on-2. They're letting him straight through the middle. Simon Nelson's in, and he goes for goal, tipped away by Machedo. It's a good way to recover from a relatively poor result at Hull City, is to come here and grab ourselves a victory. Particularly it'll be our first home game in the new ground. To get a win here would be sensational. And a clean sheet would be even nicer. Livramento. Good ball in, cleared away. Well, what can you... I don't... Yeah, fair enough. I guess just a good strike from Jake Clark. Just frustrating, man. There's nothing you can do about it. He's just absolutely pinged that. I just figured it was going wide. Like, no amount of us pressing would have done anything about that. It's just a thunderbolt. And it's the equaliser for Brentford. Shame. Now we need to pull our socks up and get into this match. Get Win Billington another chance. Let him score that 12th goal of the season for us. Thompson's looking a bit knackered as well. Maybe I should have brought him off, but I don't normally like taking centre-backs off if I can avoid it. Unfortunately, it's looking like another one of those games where we haven't quite done enough. It's Sullivan! Oh, and it's offside. No, unless Sullivan scores here. Well, I mean, why are you all standing in offside positions? I don't get it. Why would you do that? And it's going to be a 1-1 draw at home to Brentford. These are the sort of points that you just can't keep dropping constantly. When you can see goals like that, you're just like no amount of, because it's the way that it's the second ball, no amount of, like, we bear in mind, we're a high-pressing team that play a high line. There's no way of us moving them further up the pitch, other than, of course, having, like, central midfielders, but then they would be the other side of the ball. You just can't win sometimes. It's just a really good goal, and you've got to hold your hands up. Frustrating, though. Billington scores again, gives us a chance in this match. Another man of the match for himself, but, again, not good enough from a defensive standpoint in a lot of respects, but it's just sometimes you just got to say that's a really good goal, and it was. Right, some games off camera. Back in a minute. Would have liked to have won our first game at home, but it didn't quite happen. Right, we're back. And, well, before we get into the game, we've just lost 2 really key players to broken bones in the same training session in an incident with each other. I've never seen that before. So we've got a news article pop up, both at the same time, saying that Birch McNaught and Quadio have both broken bones in their... Quadio's broken his lower leg and Birch McNaught has broken his foot. It said that a robust challenge on each other. What the hell were they doing that Birch McNaught broke his foot? Did he break his foot while he was breaking Quadio's leg? It seems like the ultimate training ground bust-up that ends up with us being screwed and our entire right-hand side of the team. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think happened, to be honest? Because that's both of our right wingers are both out with broken bones from the same incident. Yeah. Brilliant news, eh? Brilliant news. So back to the game. We went away to Reading. Struggling Reading. Now bottom of the league, by the way, as well. Ball was whipped across. Easy goal here for Greening. Great header. Reading started this game really strongly. They then missed a penalty straight after with a chance to go 2-0 up. And then, thank goodness, we were able to get back into this match. Nice little bit of work here. Ball around the side. Birch McNaught whips across. Fran Sullivan. He's really gone under the radar lately, but he's been smashing goals in. And then, in the 90... Okay, for some reason, it's not going to let me show you the goal. Basically, Dale O'Connor. Ball's whipped across. Second face from a corner, and Connor able to get a little toe on it, put it in the back of the net, 4-2-1. Great result. Off the back of that, though, it was battering time. Away at Burton Albion, 1-0, Fran Sullivan. Then we won a penalty in the 17th minute when Billington dispatches it for 2-0, cruising comfortably. And then the floodgates just opened. Buffo, look at this for a lovely little pass, just whips it out to the wide area. Nelson's there again, drops a lovely cross in. Fran Sullivan, second of the night for him, 3-0, game over. But we weren't done yet, as Buffo, yet again, lovely little ball in here for Sanctus, comes out to the right-hand side for Chan, whips it across, and there is Fran Sullivan. Hat-trick complete inside 28 minutes. We left it a bit later in the second half, made a few changes. Nelson gets the ball out on this left-hand side here, whips it back, comes to Nevitt, pops that ball in. Borja Sanctus, having to play, of course, as our third-choice winger, grabs a goal, very important. And then in the 75th minute, he got himself a chance to get involved again. Herbert gives him the ball, and he's able to whip it across, which is a really nice little ball here for Bradley Davidson to get a touch on it. First goal of the year for him, 6-0. We then hosted Huddersfield Town, who frankly actually played quite well. Ball over the top, Papetti's in behind, and Griggsy can really do not a lot about this. Just a great finish, 1-0 to Huddersfield. They're a decent side this year. Unfortunately, we're still looking for our first win at the Lighthouse. Lovely little ball in, Thompson with the header, but we couldn't really progress beyond that. And Sebastian Chan's red card really did not help. 3-match ban for him. And then lastly, with injuries and suspensions really taking hold, Sanctus with the ball over here. Morton knocks it into Wim Billington, gives it straight back to him. Lovely little finish from Morton, playing one of his first appearances of the year, 1-0. Then in the 88th minute, lovely little flick on from Fran Sullivan. Wim Billington flying into the channel to pick this. Goalkeeper makes a huge mistake by trying to get this. Completely out of his goal. Morton scores his second of the night. 2-0, great win. And all that leaves us third. Still third in the league. Got an excellent points tally, though. Like, if we carry on at this rate, we would have 97, 98 points this season, which is pretty damn good. We're still a point off Burnley, frustratingly. A few points clear of Fleetwood, who are on a great run. But West Brom are flying. 42 points from 17 games. They're already 6 points clear of us. I think they're going to walk away with this league and probably could get well over 100 points at this rate. Sullivan, 9 assists. Nelson with 8. Billington still on the 12 goals. He's had a bit of an off spell. But what I should also point out, Fran Sullivan has 10 league goals himself. So he's actually having the season of his career right now, and he could be on for a record-breaking year, even by his own amazing standards. And they're doing okay. 10th in the league, 3 wins out of the last 5. They've picked up a few little what were their wins in here? Let's have a look. So they beat Norwich away at Carrow Road. Not bad, 14th place Norwich. They beat Watford at home, which is pretty good, as Watford are directly above them. And what else did they do? They beat Leeds as well, which is, I mean, Leeds, it's a good result on the board at the end of the day. Swansea really struggling, only 1 draw out of 13 games and a minus 20 goal difference. Blackhaven haven't conceded that many goals. That's been their key thing. A neutral goal difference is pretty damn solid. 6 points above the drop. I think they might actually stay up if they carry on like this, and you never know what they're going to do in January. They'll probably sign Messi if he's around. He's probably about 50 by now, but still. But today, we've got Newcastle at the Lighthouse. 6th place Newcastle. Not an easy game. I want that win. We've played 2 games at the Lighthouse so far and drawn both of them 1-1. We want that first win at the Lighthouse, and it's going to be a toughie to get it today, though. We at least managed to pick up a few wins against some poorer sides away from home, thank God. But yeah, as you can see, Birch McNaught, broken foot, Kawadio with a fractured lower leg from the exact same incident. Nuts. But we'll see what we can do against Steve Clark's Newcastle. Sell out again at the Lighthouse. You'd love to see it. I did ask the board about getting an extension, but they weren't having that at all. So yeah, we're just going to have to go with the same lineup. I realise there's a few slight injury problems there. Oh no, hang on, Nelson could come back in. Nelson should be back. And Chan's obviously not going back for a while now, unfortunately. So that's frustrating, but it's the best we can really do. Yeah, Dave Morton will go on the bench, though, instead of Jeff Hayes. We are on a decent run. I think we're unbeaten in 6, and I think we've won 3 or 4 of those 6. That's not a bad run, really. We just aren't stringing like 4 or 5 wins together like we were at the start of the year. But it's still pretty consistent. Keep this up and we're in good shape. And a win today would mean a lot because it's against a very, very good side. Like, our results against some of the better sides in this league. Like, we lost to West Brom. We did beat Fleetwood 4-0, though, in fairness. So you never know. Nelson bringing it away. He was rested for the last game and had a suspension. So mostly he was just suspended. But Odd Sullivan drills it wide. He should have scored there, probably. Well, we look up for it. 75% possession so far. We are dominating Newcastle's ball in, and Sanctus now with the header over. We must take advantage of this result so far. We cannot, this looks one of these games where we really do look up for it, and it's a very, very difficult match. And it looks like it's one of those days when the players just look like they really want this result, and that's a good sign. Kaminsky. Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's players there. That's a full-on angry sip kind of material. I don't know. There's enough players. It's just one of those things where they just, watch us now completely drop off for the rest of the match in terms of our quality. We'll see, though. Maybe we can build on the momentum we started. Sullivan, he's going to end up shooting, I think, in the end. Yep, straightforward. Lewis is balling for Newcastle. And well saved by Griggs. Okay. Gets it away for Thompson. Goes for Connor. Okay, got to be... There we go. That's the ball we want. To Sanctus. Or Sankis, rather. Well, they've allowed him a lot of space. He's found Sullivan, actually. And Sullivan goes for a goal, and it's tipped wide by Kelleher. We're still looking all right, but, yeah. Maybe we just need to score a set-piece goal or something just to get us back on even terms as Thompson's header is over. Half-time, and what started off brilliantly has just become very, very bad from us, really. Everything Newcastle do is going through Miller, to a ridiculous degree. If we could take him out of the game, that might be worth doing. Can he find the ball in? That right-hand side is so much weaker than it was at the start of the year. The Chan-Kawadia partnership there, now comparing to where it is with Aston Herbert and, Buffo! Yeah, Aston Herbert And who we've and Sankis, this is not really what I had in mind for that right side. And I do think that's costing us now, but there's nothing we can do about it. Like, we signed for strength and depth, and we just weren't expecting two of them to take each other out in the same game as Fraser Thompson gets the equaliser. God, in games where we've been a bit iffy, Fraser Thompson has been a lifeline in sort of situations like that, to be able to just muscle his way into a good position. He's got that added height that I really, really like. Obviously, he's never going to be with us permanently, but he's doing a great job for us this year at the back and even going forward too. Still not quite Kai Knight, but he's up there. To be fair, it's been a game of no opportunities, really. Both teams have just taken what they could get when they could get it. We get a decent header from a corner and they get a long-range strike, and there's been very little in terms of actual quality from either side for the most part, and it does look as though we're headed to the third consecutive 1-1 draw at the Lighthouse. It's better than nothing, I suppose, as Newcastle are a decent side, and it does still keep us 1 point behind Burnley, but it was a chance to leapfrog them if we'd have got the result. Other points dropped elsewhere, though, as West Brom are flying now. 7 clear of Burnley and 8 clear of us. They're going to be champions of this division. I think it's between us and Burnley for that other spot. At least we're not losing games at the moment. We are staying consistent, and that's, I guess, something. But we did not play well enough. Neither did they, really. But as you can see, we have at least gone a fair spell now. I think that's 7 games without a defeat, but we have drawn 4 of those games, all by 1 goal to 1-1. We could do with a few more goals being scored, although we seem to use them all in the Burton game, which is a bit annoying, but nevertheless, we've got to push on. We're going to start next episode with Barnsley at the Lighthouse. Can we finally get it at the 4th time of asking? Who knows? And then there's Burnley in there as well. A lot of tough games coming up soon. Bristol City in there at the Lighthouse too. We'll probably do that as a live comp. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like. That would be superb. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be excellent as well. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 11 a.m. So go follow there too. And I'll join you guys in the next episode, where we will maybe finally get a chance to win a game at home. Maybe. You never know. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.